All right, jam-packed video, guys. We have 7 stocks, 7 companies to break down, all of which just reported earnings. Most of these just came out literally 5 minutes ago here after the bell, but I think 2 or 3 of them reported earnings this morning. So let's dive into it. Hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, follow along for more, and check out the Patreon if you guys want to keep up with my portfolio updates, be a part of my private Discord. That's all linked down below, pinned in the comments as well. And now, guys, with that being said, cheers. We have water today. We drank all the coffee already. We're on to water. Let's dive into it. So, overall, the market didn't have the best day. Every index went down. Oil went up, both Brent and WTI. Brent went up 4.5%, and WTI went up around 3.3, 3.4%, as we're starting to cool off a bit on SPY after breaking out to all-time highs. Same with the Dow Jones, right? The Qs are starting to get hit here at the top of the channel. We covered this in my previous video, right? So I don't want to go too deep into it. So that's where we're at with the overall market. We had a bit of a red day, but even with the red day, the VIX went down 4.5%. Think about that, guys. Think about that. So with that being said, let's just dive into these numbers, break down some of these companies. I didn't look at any of these earnings, at least the ones in the aftermarket. I haven't seen them yet, as they just literally came out, guys. So Airbnb is number one, and oh my goodness, man, look at this stock go. It is going ballistic. We closed at 151. Now we're pushing 170 in the aftermarket, guys. So they must have crushed earnings, obviously. Duh, right? EPS came in. Is that adjusted? No. EPS $1.37, that beat the $1.25 expected on sales of $3.6 billion versus $3.57, so a nice double beat. And they see guidance, let's see, Q3 sales of $4.69 to $4.77 billion versus $4.6 billion expected, so very good guidance, nice double beat. Anything else here they expect? But overall, what's going on? It all has to do with, in my eyes here, the World Cup, right? That brought an unbelievable amount of foot traffic to all these cities in the United States. And guess what? People are staying at, hotels, but Airbnbs as well. And we actually called this out a couple weeks ago. What a trade this was, guys. We called it out when it was at 140, right? Before the World Cup even started. Was it before the World Cup? Either way, the thesis was we're going to rip into the summer, into the travel seasons after the World Cup. And here we are. Stocks going ballistic. Great earnings, great double beat. And would I be buying it now? Probably not. I'd be selling into this strength. But Airbnb is looking phenomenal. Fresh high on the year, and probably a high on the 1-year chart if I had to guess. And on the 3-year, we're getting close. We're pretty much testing the highs now from the early days of 2024. So very good print out of Airbnb. Stocks going nuts. We had Rigetti just report as well. RGTI is the ticker. This company is Rigetti Computing. Let's see, are their earnings out? Yep. Adjusted EPS, they lost 5 cents, which came right in line with the estimates, and sales came in at $5.1 million versus $5.15 million, so they missed sales. Obviously, this is an early stage company, guys, so $5.1 million versus $5.15 million, and again, adjusted EPS, they lost 5 cents, which came in line with the estimate. And the chart right here, let's see what we're looking like. It's been downtrending all year. Now we're down in the aftermarket, not much, but we did dump around $1 initially. Now we're at 16.18, 16.20, down about 30 cents in the aftermarket. So Rigetti's definitely one that I've been tracking all year. We broke it down here a couple weeks ago, whenever that was. And now it's kind of testing that low from earlier in the year. I'm not loving the chart, and quite frankly, I'm going to wait until we show confirmation of this thing actually starting to break out, which I don't think that's going to happen until we take out at least 18 to 20 bucks. So I'm being patient on Rigetti. And we got earnings out of the trade desk as well, TTD, and oh my goodness, man, this thing is off a cliff. Holy smokes. TTD closed at $17.67. Now it's at $13.65. Oh my goodness, guys, we're down 22% in the aftermarket. That is rough. I feel like every time we cover the trade desk, it's tanking on earnings. I mean, probably not every time we've covered it, but man, more often than not, it is off a cliff. The stock's at 13 a share now. My goodness. So adjusted EPS missed 34 cents versus the 40-cent estimate on sales, which also missed $715 million versus $751 million. So double miss. They expect Q3 revenue of $650 million, so a lot less than what they just reported. I'm not sure what the estimate. Oh my God, the estimate. $805 million estimate on that Q3 number, guys. And they said 650. So analysts were off by $150 million. That is why the stock's getting nailed. Very poor guidance. And that's what it's all about. Stocks are forward-looking vehicles. And if you tell a stock, an investor, a company, oh, by the way, yeah, our sales are going to be $150 million less than what you think next quarter, what do you think's going to happen, right? Even if a stock's in a downtrend, that could send it even lower, and that's what we're seeing right now. And this is why I don't play the turnaround plays. This is what I said in the last video. Did I not say this in the last video? The trade desk, you might have been like, oh, it's a turnaround play. It's down so much. How much lower could it go? It was just at $45 back in November. Oh, it could go lower, right? I mean, look, their numbers are deteriorating. If a company is not doing well at that moment in time, there's no reason to chase it unless you're confident they're going to turn around and you're not afraid to hold for a lot longer than you think. So in this case, it's down another 22% after a cut in half, more than that throughout the course of the year. So not looking great for TTD. DraftKings also just reported, let's see these numbers, guys. DraftKings is at 22 a share as of today's close. Now it's at $21.80 in the aftermarket. We got to $23.50, down at $20.60 as well. So it's all over the place, pretty much break even, little red in the aftermarket. So they beat EPS. Adjusted EPS 9 cents, which beat the 2-cent estimate, but sales missed. $1.44 billion versus $1.516 billion. So mixed earnings, big miss on revenue. That's obviously not good in the short term, but I guess the stock's down so much. I mean, this thing was at $36 in January. It's almost cut in half, so how much lower could it go? If I had to guess, we ultimately will take out $20. I think so, guys. $20 has been support all year, but clearly we're making lower highs into that support. We have a descending triangle, and this business is so competitive, right? It's so competitive to the point where their costs are so high. All the marketing, all the this, the that, the promos they're running. Who's paying for all that? Obviously, DraftKings is paying for that. I mean, they're paying out the wazoo for all this marketing. Yeah, football season's coming up. It's the slow time now for betting. That's going to be good for DraftKings. Maybe we'll revisit this stock in like a month. Maybe it starts breaking out. But for now, it's just not looking pretty, man. It's such an expensive business to run. So much competition, and what's the moat of these businesses? What is the real competitive advantage of a DraftKings, of a, you name it, any of these players? There is no competitive advantage, guys. I mean, people bounce from app to app to app based on the promos, based on where they can get all the best deals to bet. I mean, this is an uninvestable category for that exact reason, in my opinion. Just like the MJ stocks, you guys know what I mean, Snoop Dogg, Puff Puff Pass, right? Just like those stocks, they're uninvestable because so much competition, there's no moat. I mean, until we get a Pepsi and Coca-Cola in that industry, I'm not investing. So it's tough to buy these types of stocks. But ultimately, with football season coming up, who knows? It could go higher. But for now, I'm on the sidelines, and I have been for quite a while. I've traded the stock a couple times, but it's been a while. So QBTS is another one. I'm pretty sure this one came out in the morning. This is D-Wave. This stock went down 10% on the day. Oof. Yeah, it hit $22.50 in the pre-market, got all the way down to $18, guys. This thing fell 20%. And let's see what they did here. Revenue came in at $3.07 million versus $4.02 million, so they missed revenue by $1 million, guys, pretty much. On EPS, they lost 13 cents. That missed a loss of 10 cents expected. I got to get some water after that one, man. That is not good. Double miss. So a lot of these companies that we're covering today, coincidentally, are double missing, or at least missing one of the two. So that's rough out of D-Wave. It's been downtrending kind of all year, just like Rigetti. Not really different there. And for me to trade these guys, I need to see them break out. Right now, we're in a downtrend, seeing little relief rallies within the downtrend. I need more than just that. So Datadog is another one. DDOG, this one was this morning. Oh my gosh, this thing fell off a cliff, guys. 20% down. We closed down under 230. We went down over $50 a share on the day. Absolute bloodbath for Datadog. And that's on earnings that, let's see what they did here, guys. I saw them this morning. They double beat. I mean, guys, adjusted EPS, 65 cents versus 59 cents expected on sales of $1.12 billion versus $1.02 billion. They raised their full-year adjusted EPS guidance, and they raised their full-year 26 sales guidance, which is very good. They expect Q3 revenue in the range of 1.14 to 1.5 or 1.15 billion. Pretty good there. So, look, at this point, it was probably just too priced to perfection. Too highly priced. The stock was trading near $300, which I'm not sure is that the all-time. Yeah, that was, it was at an all-time high. It was trading at an all-time high heading into earnings, and look, priced to perfection. And yeah, they raised EPS, they raised revenue, they beat EPS revenue, but maybe not by enough. And if you're priced to perfection heading into earnings have to be stellar for you to even keep the gains, and phenomenal for the stock to go up even higher. So if there's any little part of the report that disappoints, a stock's probably going down after earnings if it's at all-time highs and overbought heading into earnings. So Datadog, honestly, this could be a great reset for the stock. Maybe we find support in the low 200s. In fact, that's where I think we will find support. 220, 215, that general range. If we fell through that, maybe we have a little gap down to go. But for now, I'd be watching Datadog to hold low 200s, 210, 215, 220. And one more here, guys. Let's do one more. And by the way, guys, if you want to keep up with my private Discord community, see what I'm doing throughout the day. We talk in that community all day now. It's crazy how much it's grown. It's awesome running that Discord community, all you guys that are in there. If you want to be a part of it and see my trades, portfolio updates, all that stuff throughout the week, chart breakdowns, ideas, all that's on Patreon, guys. Shameless plug. Link down below, pinned in the comments, or go to StockSurfast.com/Patreon, or it's in the description, the bio, whatever you want to call it. Go join us if you want to, guys. We'd be glad to have you in there. So Fiserv is another one that reported. This stock has been down all year, even from the end of last year. This thing's been bludgeoned all year, guys. And look, it hit 240 about 2 years ago. Oh my God, a year and a half ago. So this thing is down massively. Earnings came out and it is up, it looks like. No, it tanked in the morning. Then we filled the gap. That's right. This was in the morning. So it tanked from 54 to 47. That was a 13% drop, and it pretty much filled that gap. So if you bought that initial dump, you would have made some money there on Fiserv, guys. It looks like they reported earnings per share of $1.84 adjusted. That missed the $1.91 on sales of $5.29 billion versus $5.03. So they beat sales, missed EPS, and they lowered their full year adjusted EPS guidance from 830 or 8 to 830 now to 720 to 740. That's under the estimate. That's not good. I don't like that at all. So honestly, I feel like this thing tanked initially. It filled this gap. I could see it tanking again based on those earnings, the lowering of the guidance. I'm not falling for this gap fill here. This is easily shortable in my opinion. Well, not easily. Nothing's easy in the stock market, guys. But if I had to take a bet here, Fiserv is not breaking this downtrend on those earnings. I just don't see it. We might chop around the mid 50s for a little bit, but I could see this thing back. I could see this thing back in the mid high 40s like that pretty soon here. We'll see, though. We'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to wrap it up here. And full disclosure, I don't own any of these stocks as of this video. Maybe I'll trade them. They're on the watch list. I'm watching them post earnings. But as of this video, I don't own any of these stocks. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Again, check out the Patreon, all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.